Hello, everyone. Welcome to Your Story Orleans. And we have a very special guest here today. I have got someone that needs a kidney. And Kim, she's right beside of me here, Kim Dement. Right? Yeah. And here is Mindy Lewis, and this is Peyton Black. And they're here today. Mindy reached out to me, and she messaged me and asked me if we'd be interested in doing a story on Kim to hopefully find a kidney donor for her. So, Mindy, I'm going to turn it over to you a little bit, and you just tell us how this happened, how you got connected with us, and then we'll go on into Kim telling her story.
Okay. Well, how I got connected with media services is actually through prayer. Kim and I are really good friends. And of course she needs a kidney, so I'm going to do whatever I can to help with that, get the word out. So I was just praying that morning and asking the Lord, what could I do? What could I do? I heard many times in my spirit that I had a story to tell. And I'll elaborate a little bit on that in a moment. But anyway, after my prayer time, unfortunately, I got on social media like a lot of us do and waste time. But on this morning, it was wonderful because it was the Lord's confirmation. Right there, the very first thing I saw was Tammy Grant with Media Services. I wasn't that familiar with the podcast and everything. I had seen it, but I wasn't that familiar with it. But again, like I said, it was confirmation. So I immediately reached out to her, sent her a message, and told her who I was, what I was wanting. And Tammy was just she was really excited to help us, and I thank God for that. She's a blessing. Because, guys, we need a kidney. Kim is very sick, and Kim's going through grueling dialysis treatments and hours a day, and it's so hard on her. And, guys, I just want you to know that the reason God spoke that I have a story is her daughter that you will hear from here in a little bit. She needed a kidney years back, and the Lord had placed on my heart to try and donate that kidney. Well, I read that live donation is a very low statistic. People are so afraid of something like that. Most of the time, I guess donors come from horrible circumstances. But I like to think that God has given us 2 kidneys and we just need one. So I feel like that anyone that is healthy and has 2 kidneys, I believe God's calling on you to help others and go test. And we also want everybody to just tell everyone get the word out there. But I want you to know that I went through every test that you go through to be a live donor. I passed everything. It was unbelievable. I don't think I've ever been so healthy, but again, it was a God thing. God was in this story. And when it came to the very end, and the kidney registry had to make a decision if I could be the live donor. Of course, this was just 3 years back, so I got a little age on me, So that was against me, but God was for me. I didn't end up getting to give the kidney because the nephrologist that got together and looked at everything that I'd gone through and basically looked at my, how my kidney would be in years. They have, technology's amazing. They have, technology where they could actually see how I was going to be with 2 kidneys versus how I would be with 1 kidney. So basically my life wouldn't have been as quality with the 1, so they stopped it. I even asked if I could sign something. People thought I was crazy, but I just knew that God God had chosen me. So in saying that, again, I just want to say, please, close your eyes. Ask the Lord if you have a part in this, in anywhere at all. Who knows what your part could be? Your part might not be the donor. Your part might just be sharing a podcast. Your part might be Peyton's going to speak a little bit about a fundraiser. Your part may be helping with the fundraiser. I'm not sure what your part is, but I pray that all of you will have a part, will take a part, because this is a beautiful, beautiful young lady, and she loves the Lord, and she works so hard for the Lord. If any of you that are listening have gone to House of Grace, you will see how hard she works for the Lord. So, guys, we've got to get her back out there. We've got to get her back out there. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you for having us.
Well, let me tell you something. Whenever I read that, I was sitting at the desk over there, and when I read the message, I'm like, Michael, we need to do a podcast about a kidney. He said, what? And I said, somebody needs a kidney and we need to, he said, absolutely. He was like, we're so much alike. Yes. It's crazy because we want to help people.
Absolutely.
And this is a biggie here. So
it is a biggie. Now, if I could just tell you where Kimberly will be having her transplant at University of Cincinnati. So that is where, if you wanted to do the application to see if you would even be a possibility, the blood, your blood type is going to come into play. There's a lot of different things that they look at. But the first step, and I'm going to give you the website that you would go to, and it's https:// OmniLife, that's OmniLife.health, HEALTH UC-living-donor. And this is all lowercase, okay? And that should take you to the application. And that is the first step. Once you do the application, you will get an email almost instantly thanking you for that application. And then, too, you will have a coordinator reach out to you very quickly. And they also have past kidney donors reach out to you. So a lot of videos to watch, a lot of people to talk to. Please, guys, search your heart. Search your heart. And give my Kimmy life back. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your what you just said there. That's amazing. I mean, I'm sitting here crying right now.
Yeah.
Kim, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you? Tell us how this started at the very beginning. How come you need a kidney?
Well, as Tammy said, my name is Kim Dement, and on August 1 of 2025, I, on a normal day, got up with my husband. He was going to work. I work at Dawson Bryant High School, and so I was on summer break, and so I got up with him, and everything was very normal. Went about my morning, had my coffee, felt fine during that period. Mm-hmm. And then about 10 o'clock, I began feeling just a little sick to my stomach. Mm-hmm. And so I started vomiting. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse to the point that I had to stay in the bathroom because I couldn't bring myself out of there with, I was on the floor, because I was to the point that the vomit just kept coming.
Yeah.
And then my son, who was home with me, he became a little alarmed, and so he called Peyton, his sister. She was at work, and he said, I think that you need to come and take Mom to the hospital. She's not doing well. She's been vomiting like all morning.
Right.
So she came. She took me to the hospital, and we went to King's Daughters Hospital, and they were phenomenal. They took me right back and got me worked up, and then by then my husband had arrived, and they come in and they were like, your family just got here, her pretty much here in the nick of time. And he's like, what do you mean? And they's like, she's very sick. She has an infection that has went to her bloodstream, and she is septic.
Oh, wow.
And it's shut her kidneys down.
Oh, wow.
And my husband was like, no, she's fine. I mean, she's just
'Cause you were fine.
Yeah, right. I was perfectly fine. And that morning when he left me, I was fine.
And you hadn't had any inkling that you had an
symptoms.
infection at all?
No
Phew,
indication.
That's scary.
I mean, like, I felt fine, had been going on about. So then I was admitted to the hospital, and that was on I want to say that was on a Friday, and they admitted me, and the doctor, nephrologist on call, came in and said, we're going to have to start dialysis.
Wow.
So they, I was very familiar with dialysis because as my daughter, Peyton, that is here with us also, she has had 2 transplants.
Wow.
That the indication has not been any that there was a relation like hereditary or anything like that and stuff. But I'm very familiar with transplant and dialysis and things like that. No indication whatsoever, because at this point they said I was acute, just a short period of kidney failure.
All right.
So we began dialysis, and
Now, where did the infection come from? You all know.
we do not know where it came from. We do know that the infection was E. coli, which, can surface from many different ways.
Yes.
But it can be progressively treated, but then it also untreated. This could be a result, which it can be life threatening.
Right. Oh, definitely.
So definitely something, like I said, usually there is indications that it's going on, especially before it gets to the extreme of the bloodstream.
Right.
It just so happened that in my system there wasn't an indication until basically it was
Almost too late.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we did dialysis and was listed as acute. And normally with acute, you can have dialysis and it will increase the production of what needs to be done with the kidneys, which, produces your urine, but then also rids your body of toxins.
Right.
And my body wasn't being able to do that. And so we went on, I was on dialysis for 3 months, and that was hemodialysis. There is different types of dialysis. And so within 3 months, and it was not changing, they said, we now will list you as being chronic kidney failure.
Wow.
And with that, you will need a transplant because the kidneys that you have, because we are born with, most are born with 2.
2, yeah.
So they said, it's not being able to do what needs to be done, so we'll need to get you a transplant. I in the process of having hemodialysis, because when I was doing that, it was 3 days a week, and I would go on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I wasn't being able to work by then. School was back in,
Right.
and I wasn't being able to work. I am a very, very active. As I said, I work at Dawson Bryant High School in the multiple disability classroom, and within there, I'm very active. I wasn't able to be as active as what my job normally requires, energy wise and stuff. I also very active within our Church of House of Grace. I work in the nursery. I work in our children's ministry,
Awesome.
and other areas and stuff. And just the way I felt, and my blood pressure fluctuated. I would be in. It was nothing for my blood pressure to be like 210 over 100 and some.
Wow.
But
That's
then
high.
also it bottomed out and just dropped within nothing. So I didn't have the energy that I really required to be able to do the things that my lifestyle was.
Right.
And what I know that I am called to do. The Lord has given me a very productive life, and I know that none of this was of Him. I know that there is a reason that this is happening and stuff.
Right.
But in that, I wasn't able to do it, and I was getting even sick with the hemodialysis. So I made the choice after talking to my nephrologist to have what is called PD dialysis. So I'm able to do that at home. So we got everything set up in my home, and I have but I do still have to have dialysis 7 days a week for about 9 hours and 45 minutes, right at 10 hours, to be able to go about a day. So
Wow.
for me to be able to go to work and do my job and everything and stuff. So that right now, that's what I'm doing. I also am seeking a donor. I am going through Cincinnati Hospital, so UC, and the information that Mindy gave you earlier. That is the information that if anyone is feeling led to do that, they just go on, they do the questionnaire,
Right.
and then within that amount of time, someone will get back with them and let them know, whether or not that they would be a candidate to be able to do this and stuff.
Okay.
They're very, very good about, like I said, Peyton has had a transplant through them, and they're phenomenal. They get you all the information that you need. They stay on top of what it is that you need to know to be a donor.
Right.
It's just, I am in need of a kidney, and that's where UC and the community comes in to be able to give me my life back.
Right.
And I know that God has a plan in this.
Yes,
I
He
know
does.
that my God, our God, is not one that is of causing bad things, but
Right.
He sure will use it.
Yeah.
And,
He can heal
that's,
you.
Yes, and that's exactly what He's doing. He is using this to make my life back to what it needs to be a servant to Him. But not only me, but get the information out there to help others.
Right. That's a scary situation that you're going through, and I know it's for your whole family. I know I I was diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease from taking too many ibuprofens. I ate the ibuprofen 800s, and they done a biopsy on mine, and both of them are scarred. But it improved. They said it will never improve. It will continuously get worse, but it might not take. It might be 10 or 15 years down the road. You might have to have a new kidney, and of course that terrified me. And whenever that happened, guess what? My numbers started to improve. So that's God. God can do anything.
Yes.
And now I'm at stage 2.
Yes.
So
He's the mighty
I'm good.
physician.
Yes.
You don't put limits on him.
Amen. And God can do anything. So we want to emphasize if you are able to give a kidney, go ahead and use the information that Mindy gave you. Now, the blood type, is that part of it too?
Yes.
Like you have to be the blood type? Do you know your blood type?
Yes, I'm A positive.
A positive? Okay, so that might help a little bit if people are thinking about it or whatever.
Yes.
If you've got that A positive blood, then you can go ahead and go further with it and check with University of Cincinnati, right? And try to get a donor that way. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit to Peyton here. She's sitting beside of me, and she has received 2 kidneys at different times, right? You want to tell us your story?
So basically, at both, I've been diagnosed with issues. I basically have a disease called Vargas syndrome, which affects multiple parts of the body.
Okay.
And just so happens, one of them happens to be renal. There's also the fact that I'm a little bit of a mystery.
You're a little bit of mystery.
And I happen to be to only have 1 kidney.
Okay.
So because of that, your body doesn't work. It basically doesn't work as well as.
So did you have 1 kidney when you was born? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I was just born with a stump on my left side. I only have my right side one.
Okay.
So because of that, already it isn't going to filter as well as everything else.
Right.
And the fact that I was born with one that was diseased.
Okay.
Right? And basically how it happened, I had to have my first transplant is I ended up with a infection.
That infection can do a whole lot, can it?
Yes.
That's the crazy part is that mine started out with infection, and then here we have Mom who.
Yeah, that's unreal, man.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have anything to do with hereditary stuff. Yeah.
But that infection, they gave me antibiotics for it. The antibiotics they first gave me didn't work, and every other antibiotic just wouldn't work. To the point that by the time they finally gave me one that did work, it was just already too late.
Too late.
And that was about the age of 4.
Just 4 years old. Wow.
So from the age of 4 all the way up to about the age of 10, we took and just kept looking and looking and looking. And it just so happens that my 3rd cousin tested, and my Uncle Donnie.
Donnie's your cousin too.
Donnie's my cousin. My cousin Scott and cousin Donnie took and tested, and both was a match.
Oh, awesome.
And usually, when it comes to the transplantation process, they always want to go with whatever is best for you. So it turns out that
he was 3/4.
3/4 of a match,
Which is very. This is definitely a God thing, because normally even a parent is only like a half of a match.
Really?
And he was a 3/4 of a match.
So to find a kidney is it's hard to find. Yeah.
And basically April 28th, 2009. Lord. April 28th, 2009, I got my first transplant.
Oh, wow.
And that was with Cincinnati Children's. So then, time went on. Everything was fine and dandy.
Everything was good.
I was young. I didn't really understand what was going on. So this gift that was given to me, I neglected.
Yeah.
And because I neglected it, and just the fact of time, after 15 years, they finally said, hey, you gotta have another one.
Wow.
And usually how they test that is they go on whatever your GFR is.
Mm-hmm.
And what the GFR is, it is the general filter translate, general filter rate of whatever the kidney is.
Right.
So if yours gets below 20%,
Mm-hmm.
they usually say it's time for you to have that transplant.
Right.
So, after that, I went a year.
On
finding-
dialysis and stuff?
No.
No?
No.
Didn't have to have a
That
dialysis?
happened back in 2022, basically.
Yeah.
Right? 2022. And by 2023, they finally said, hey, you gotta do dialysis.
Yes.
So I went on dialysis for about a year. Over a year.
Wow.
You got another infection too.
No.
Yeah, because remember you was admitted to the hospital, and that's when.
That wasn't that didn't cause it, though.
Well, no, but you had another infection.
But that infection wasn't what caused me to go on dialysis.
Okay. So you got on dialysis, and then they said
Basically-
whenever you go on dialysis, you have to get a kidney, right?
Well, you can come off of
Dialysis.
because it depends on whether or not you're like acute or you're chronic.
Okay.
Because you can actually, like you said, that your numbers went back because they tell you that it can't regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, it
does.
can.
Yeah.
You can come out of renal failure.
Right.
Basically, if it goes above that 20%, they'll say, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
But yours didn't, right?
Not after mine went to about 9%, and after that, they finally said, okay.
Oh, it went to 9%?
They finally said
it's
you have
time.
to go on dialysis.
Yeah,
And after that, it just never went back above 20%.
yeah.
So we just looked for a donor. We announced it at church. We posted on Facebook. We did all that.
Uh-huh.
And sweet old Mingy, one day approached me at church.
And said,
She was getting tested
oh,
and
well.
went through the whole process just like she said.
Yep.
And I remember I was in the hospital. And she texted me saying, I'm coming to see you because I got some news to tell you.
Oh,
And it wasn't really the news I was expecting. She told me they disqualified her.
Yeah, 'cause
oh.
she went through every test. I mean, and normally, if you make it through every test, then you're the one.
You're the
and
one.
stuff.
You're the one.
But it went down to the surgeon that made a decision
The
that
surgeon
it would
did.
not be a good quality life for her. So they definitely would
They
not.
always think about the donor and they think about the
see,
person who's wanting to donate.
I love that about that because,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it could affect your life down the road, too.
Yeah.
And most people don't even realize. They think, oh, well, they just care about the person who is getting the
Yeah.
organ.
Yeah,
And
but they
that's not the
don't.
case.
No.
Right.
Nope, that's why the
No.
Lord whispers in my spirit, tell them.
And
Yeah.
You know.
not only that, but because of that, and I read this back when I was with Cincinnati Children's, over 99% of people pass from not being able to get an organ because people don't generally want to donate
No.
Right.
because they
They're
are
afraid.
scared.
Yeah, they're
scared.
scared.
So that
Yeah.
1% that does get it is an absolute blessing.
Blessing.
Yeah.
And you're blessed, aren't
Yeah,
you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
And
So who ended up giving you your kidney?
an amazing guy. He's the kind of guy that is behind the curtain,
Behind the
Kind
curtain.
of.
Okay.
likes to keep to himself.
Okay.
So,
But you knew him.
yes,
But we actually did not know
it was him.
that it was him until we went for
Oh.
surgery.
I got chills.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well,
no.
we weren't supposed to know. We,
Generally, you're not supposed to know the person
Yeah.
who's donating to you.
Right.
And I went up there on April or August the 27th to finish up my evaluation to make sure I was still A-OK to go through transplant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another hindrance. You gotta pass one more test
One more, just one
before they'll
more.
even make sure you can get that organ.
Right.
And we heard one of the doctors or nurses say, "Okay, we'll see you on September 9th."
Uh-huh.
And I was up there with my grandma, and my grandma went, "Do you know that person?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Wow.
that's my donor."
That's your donor.
And
Wow.
we won't say his name because I don't know. Because
That's
like
fine,
she said,
that's
he
fine.
is very behind the
That's fine.
and stuff. But we will say that he attends House of Grace also.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody in the audience
Yes.
that had knew your story,
Mm-hmm.
like reached out and got tested, and that's how simple it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
To just see,
Yep.
make sure your blood type. I mean,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah,
first thing right there.
Yes.
You gotta be free of basically illnesses. I mean, and there's
No.
still some that if it's not severe,
Yeah.
you gotta,
Mainly, your very first thing is you need to be healthy.
Right.
That's your main thing because they will not even look at anything that not healthy wise.
Right.
And then from there, blood type.
Right.
you could be the actual blood type. You can be O neg. Is it AB positive? That is universal. AB
Universal.
positive, that's universal. If you're those three, you can.
Okay.
They, and this is one that always gets me. Weight wise,
Weight.
weight wise.
Yeah.
If you above a certain weight wise, they won't consider it.
They if that's the only thing, they'll let you know, but you have to be willing to lose
That weight.
The
that
weight.
weight. Mm-hmm.
Before
Yeah.
you can have the surgery,
Yes.
or
Yes.
okay,
Mhm.
and that's the person, the donor.
Yes.
This so
And then you
okay.
got pass all the tests like Mingy did.
Mm-hmm.
You got MRIs. You got all these blood tests. You got.
Oh, yeah, sure poked and prodded. And
But that's okay.
You
You
just
say
think that
you is
because
you
you're-
saving her life
You're
here.
saving a life, so
Yes.
you just
It's worth it.
just put
It's
your big
it's
girl
really
pants
worth it.
on and get after it.
Yeah, the big girl pants and the big
Yes.
boy pants, whatever.
right.
But
Yep.
you know, we need
Yep.
a kidney
Yes,
for
Yes.
Kim, and
Yes.
this is setting proof here that
Yes.
Absolutely.
that's the
Yes.
reason she's here right now, because somebody donated a kidney to
And
her.
the craziest thing is after I had my second transplant, I prayed, okay, Lord, I want to be an advocate for someone. I
Oh,
never would have
Yeah.
thought that
Never.
would for my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I tell her,
Yes.
I said, I never dreamed that we would bond over
kidney.
kidney.
Because, I mean, in order to even be an advocate, like Mingy says, they assign you donors. They even assign you people that's had transplants so you can
Oh,
be
yeah.
encouraged
Yeah.
to
Right.
what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta pass all these classes and all that. Basically, gotta go to college for it, apparently. But you never
But it's
would,
worth it though, right?
you
Come
never would
on.
have thought that
Yes.
through prayer and
Yes.
the journey that God is creating for you,
Yes.
that you will become somebody without even having to do all that.
Right. Wow. I'm just
And that's I think that a big thing is just that so many people you know when you think about saying save a life, that is not what comes to your mind. It doesn't come to mind of giving a part of yourself.
right.
But that is exactly what it is. You literally, whoever, which I up and foremost is the Lord,
Right.
Lord. But you literally are giving someone their life back,
Right.
because that's exactly like I said. I mean, right now without the dialysis, and I know that I'm not going to live on dialysis the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But without dialysis, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm being able to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly what an organ donation is.
Right.
Is I mean, when someone says that you are saving a life, you are saving a life, because without that, there is not quality of life.
Yeah. Now, how long can you take dialysis? I mean, I've been told that you couldn't do it forever, but can you?
Well, I mean, technically, if you don't do dialysis, then without a transplant, you're not going to live.
Yeah.
Because the fluid will build up and it'll
The
suffocate you.
dialysis gets
Yes.
the
You'll
fluids out.
Like your heart will shut down. I mean, it just leads to the other organs
Right.
of shutting down.
Okay. So we don't want that.
Yes, and so basically, without dialysis,
There's nothing.
yes,
I get it. So people, you heard that now. We need a kidney. Get tested. What's the blood types? I'm going to turn that over to you,
That's
Abby.
gonna be Peyton.
Peyton. Did I do it again? I thought about it too.
We're going to have to call her Abby.
I know. I'm going to have to look at my book here.
It would be her actual blood type, which is A positive,
A positive.
A positive, O neg, or AB positive.
Okay. So that's where you start at, and then you go
Yep.
from there on. The rest of it, you can go call Cincinnati Hospital, University of Cincinnati Hospital,
You
right?
There's actually two ways. We now actually have two ways that you can take and register. We have the link that Mingy has,
Yeah.
and then we do have a QR code too that will take you straight to the application.
Yeah, we got T-shirts here, don't we, ladies?
Yes.
Who wants to stand up and show their T-shirts?
She got the QR code.
You got the
Well,
QR code?
I can stand
She's
up
gonna
and
show up.
you
Yes.
the front.
Love it, and tell us what it says.
Okay, you guys.
It has
Read it.
Jeremiah 29:11 for I know the plans I have for you, and then it has kidney for Kim,
Kidney for
and
Kim.
then on the
In the
back
back.
we got are you a part of his plan for me with the
Sorry,
QR
Kimberly.
code, and it says scan to find out.
Yeah, so you can be in line at a grocery store and scan her shirt
Yep.
Now
Right.
she's actually the only one that has the QR code.
right now.
Yes.
But is there going to be other people that's going to have the QR code on the back of their T-shirts? Is that possible?
Right now, there's none been except for this one that's been. made
Okay,
like that,
I think
so.
that's amazing,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah.
What
Also-
technology?
yeah, we-
Also, anyone can also. I have a web page that is
Okay.
Kidney for Kim on Facebook. You can look up that, and that has all that information on there, and that
Awesome.
has the QR code. That has also the web page.
Okay,
So all that information is on there.
on there.
Mm-hmm.
Kidney for Kim.
Yes.
And we will share it on your site, too.
Yes.
And then what we need for everyone to do is share. Share this with everyone. Like, keep sharing it.
Yes.
Have your friends of a friends of a friend share it also.
Yes.
Just get it out there. That way we can get Kim a kidney.
Yes.
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 Anybody else have anything else to say? Abby, you want to say something?
Peyton.
I did that. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, with the T-shirts, we do have them for sale at the Trophy House, and
Okay.
we do have the fundraiser going.
Okay. Yeah, tell us about the fundraiser
Yeah.
real quick.
So with the fundraiser, what we're doing is the tees will be $20. You can do 2X or 2 more. 3X is,
A little bit more.
and you can take and call into the Trophy House at 606-324-2661.
2661.
And you can get more info on that.
Okay.
Part of the proceeds will go towards travel and expenses because being Cincinnati and me going through it myself, I know how expensive it can get.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Yes.
We-
Yes.
I did plan on running it till April 30th, but I might ask for an extension.
Extension. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to put the QR code on the back.
She's not for
Let's-
sure.
Let's talk about that, and let's.
Yeah.
Let's.
Because you know
would
what?
Be a great
That-
idea.
I think that would be too.
Yeah.
Because
I will
if,
have to ask Jess.
okay.
okay,
Might
well,
want
you
to
get
this quote
that.
out because I'm not 100% sure on pricing.
Yeah. Okay. But we just want to make sure that
Yeah.
the word gets out there. In what better
Yes.
way? Just to be
Yes.
standing there. Let's scan this and see.
Absolutely, yes.
I will plan on probably going around the businesses and be like, hey, can you hang this up?
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. And, hey, we'll hang one up too.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But we appreciate you all being with us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
what
much.
a blessing that just listening to your story really blessed our hearts, and you touched us in ways that you have no clue. God works in very mysterious ways, and we're sure that He's working in this. And we,
I know he is, and that is one of the things, and that was one of the things that I have already posted on my kidney for Kim. Is I know God already has
a kidney.
already, and that was one of the things people asked me with her, because after we found out that Mindy cannot, we were like, oh no. Because, like she said, she went through every test. So that was a time-consuming period. And all that time, she was on dialysis. But we also thought, we have a kidney.
Right.
So within that time frame and everything, we were back to what we felt was square one.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like, well, aren't you afraid? Because now you don't have a kidney. And I said, oh, yeah, we do. And they was like, well, I thought you said, and I was like, but we still have a kidney. I said, God does. I was
Right.
like, he's just not introduced us to that person yet.
And that's faith.
Yep.
And that's how you get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess just announcing it at church, is that how it came about, that you all needed a kidney?
And like I said, I mean, the person
Peyton.
that he did and everything and stuff, he had told me, he said, and this will show you just how much behind the scenes and how faithful he is to our Lord. He said, I'm being tested. Well, then he came to me and he says, well, there's a couple of little bumps in the road and stuff that they're saying that I need to work on. Well, in that time, he stopped working. He stopped doing everything.
Wow.
And dedicated it to getting in what needed to be done. But still, then it was kind of like we still didn't know. So we thought, that there no longer was
He
a
just
candidate
kind of
and stuff.
went off grid.
Yeah. But then she called me at work and everything, and she's like, we got a date. And I was like, we got a date? We got a date for what?
Oh.
And she said, the transplant. But we still didn't at that point know
who it was.
Yeah. So then, like she said, she knew his voice and everything. But then the confirmation was when we went in and for her to have her transplant,
To hear
and his
the date.
family was sitting
And they
there.
were
Oh.
there.
So that was, but then, and this right thing, another God thing, the very next day, she was supposed to have to spend 3 days in ICU. She spent overnight, that was it. And then she moved to a regular room.
Wow.
He was released the next day.
Yeah.
And he came up and we were talking and everything else and stuff. And he told us, he said, I always thought that I came to House of Grace to lead others to the Lord. And we were like, yeah. And he said, but no, I was brought to House of Grace to be her kidney donor.
Whew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now, does age matter on that?
It does.
cannot be-
But in a sense, now they told you that it did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was right at the cutoff because I was 50. Let's see
I think
how
you was
old.
58, wasn't you?
No.
No?
No, that'd make me older now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're gonna get no-
Probably about 56.
I'm thinking
I'm
about.
gonna get a lashing.
Yeah, you're gonna get in big trouble. I'm thinking I was like 56 56, 55. No, I was 55.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they said that 54, 55 is what
Yeah,
they said to me.
Because I was wondering about
cutoff.
that.
Yeah.
The donor's age and the receiving.
But then now that's what they had told Mindy. But now I've had people. Now this has just been people that I have like support group conversated with and stuff. They've told them if they are in excellent condition,
Right.
but of a older age,
Okay.
that they still could.
Okay. So don't let that stop you, right?
What I
Yeah.
believe is it isn't what the doctor says. It's more of whatever God says.
Yes, yeah.
Amen,
If
sister.
If you're the person he's got picked out, then
right, it's
you're
not-
the person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and there ain't nothing going to
No
stop
matter
that.
what.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
for sure.
That's exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what I tell anybody. I was like, God already has my donor out there
Yeah.
and stuff. He's just not introduced him to me,
Yeah, and
and
he-
he's probably introduced him to me or introduced them to me. It's just I haven't met them as my donor yet.
Right. And this is what this is all about, getting it out there.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So everybody
Yes.
share, and keep this going. And Kim, we will have you back on to see how things are going. Hopefully, you will get that donor
Yes, yes,
and get it all
Yep. Already
situated.
there.
And when you come back, we'll celebrate. How's that?
yes,
Yes.
yep. Next time we meet, it's gonna be for celebration.
Ooh, yes, we got this, girls.
That's
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you all for getting in contact with us. We love doing stuff like this, and we'll talk at y'all later. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.